a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
The bits.
Charmander, you start us off.
Charmander? Excuse
Yeah.
you?
Char
How dare you?
dummy.
I hate you. Welcome to The Bits, hosted by your favorite jam buds, Charlie.
And Robert. And I mean, hey, y'all, you just heard that little spat we had. I'm sorry, I usually cut it out, but Charlie and I tend to have a bit of a history having friction with each other and butting heads, which is good historically, which is great. Because we're here covering Season 2, Episode 14, Historical Friction, which premiered July 16th, 2015. But we aren't here alone. There's more friction to be had.
I'd like to think I'm not creating friction in this dynamic, but we'll see what happens.
No, Kyla's here to revise our history instead.
There, see, you saved it. But hi, Kyla.
Hello. Hi.
You were last here not too long ago. You were here just a few episodes ago.
Yeah. It's like I like the show and talking with friends or something.
Holy shit.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
Who would ever do that?
That's revolutionary. I mean, it has been a few episodes, but hey, maybe this is someone's first time listening to this podcast. Kyla, if you'd like to remind everyone who you are, what you do, throw in your pronouns because you're a cool cat.
Hello. I am a person. I am friends with Charlie for however many years. I'm not doing math right now. And Robert for however many episodes we've recorded. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And I'm not trying to be like a public figure right now. I'm just trying to vibe.
She's just existing.
She's just here for the vibes.
Look, I'm doing what Steven wishes he could do. Of just exist, live his life, not have people trying to go to him to fix all their problems.
Kyla, can you fix my problems? I'm coming to you to fix my problems.
Good luck with that. You'll never find me.
Now, Kyla, I will say, you are now tied with Phoebe for most episodes you've been on. Both of you are now at 4, but
stiff competition.
Phoebe will soon overtake you in a couple episodes when she comes back. So...
Surprise, I'm going to come on every single episode of Season 3 just to slight her.
Just to spite Phoebe. Also, damn, spoiling future guests, Charlie. Wow. You have to build anticipation. You have to build...
I'm not telling them what episode. I'm just saying she'll be back.
It's like whenever there's a horror episode, someone's coming on. Whenever there's other stuff, there's some key episodes that people want to be on to talk about. I feel like the audience probably has some sense some of the time that hey, probably this one.
At this point, I think we all know what episodes Darian's going to be on, right?
Yeah.
To be fair, I was talking shit, and I'm like, I don't even know what episode Phoebe's in. Oh, of course Phoebe chose that episode. Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell
You get it.
Yeah. All right. Before we get into the episode, Charlie, did the postman bring us in a post?
I don't. Let me double check. Gosh.
You're so prepared
really
for
funny
this
if
pod
Kyla
every
said-
time.
I am never prepared.
It'd be really funny if Kyla sent an email right before we started recording.
No, sorry.
The temptation to was there, but I couldn't think of a bit for this one that wasn't just stating what happens. I tried so hard. I was like, let me maybe I can change the flyer. I literally was like, oh, maybe I can, because it's the Tale of William Dewey by Mayor Dewey, and I was gonna try and do a Doug Dimmadome or the Dimsdale Dimmadome thing, but I couldn't. I don't have brain power after work for that. It's the same vibe.
Owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Be
that's
Doug
right.
Dimmadome.
Dimmadome. Or was the Dimsdale Dimmadome?
There's I don't know if Charlie's referencing it. There's a funny video where it's Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. yeah, and I'm like,
And it just keeps going, and he drives up, and he drives back, and he drives up, and his head's way to, yeah.
yeah. I need to say, I respect cosplayers all throughout, but none so more than the Doug Dimmadome cosplayers who make like 30-foot tall hats.
Yeah.
It's incredible the commitment.
They're next level.
Exactly.
They're really doing it. They're doing it for all of us. We appreciate them.
Because they are Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. Hey, speaking of silly shenanigans and old memes, if you want to see me and Charlie, here's the thing. I'm going to update you from the past, because you will be listening to this in the future. The panel applications for DashCon 2 open in 4 days from when we're recording this. I am currently drafting out the best fucking email of my entire life solely for the purpose of trying to get a panel at this convention. And future me, I mean, when this episode comes out, we probably won't know. It probably does take a little bit of time to like peruse through the requests and be like, okay, who's coming, who's not. But if we're chosen, I'm gonna be so happy.
We need this. We need this, Robert. And listen, I've told you, but now I need to tell the listeners that like potentially one of the outfits that is in this episode is what I would wear to DashCon if we were to do a panel. So just saying.
I would figure out very fast how to do the garnet wedding outfit, and that's what I would wear if we had a panel.
I would be Jamie, but Jamie as all of the crystal gems. So I'd be carrying around a mop.
Yep. So you can mop the floor at the cosplay contests. I'm sure they're gonna have one. I feel like DashCon has to have one. And you gotta dress up as Tumblr memes or like Tumblr fandom things.
Yeah.
You know?
And you also gotta use the mop on the new and improved wall.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, even if we don't get this panel, I'm kind of half tempted to be like, let me buy a ticket. Let's see how much they're actually like how much effort they're actually putting into this. Because if they're
that also is a question.
Think of all the content you can make making a vlog you at DashCon with your YouTube channel that you're doing so well at. I don't know. I haven't opened YouTube today.
Don't worry about it. So yeah, we have officially reached the point at which I guess you could stop. I mean, you probably still could email the DashCon people, be like, hey, have the bits on as a panel.
I don't think they're gonna open it just for like one day and then say, haha, bye.
So yeah, send them like one of those for your consideration things that they do for movies in Hollywood. For your consideration, please nominate our movie to win a small golden man.
Robert, I do think that when they finally, like, whatever day that is, you should just announce it like in the announcements channel in DXM. Just straight up be like, hey, everybody, flood the DMs, flood the emails. Tell them you want to see the bits.
And if you want to be a part of the movement, to receive that message and announcements and send a barrage of messages to the DashCon people, you should follow us at patreon.com/thebitssupod, where for $1 a month you get access to the Deus Ex Media server.
Hey, and also for $5 a month you get access to our bonus show, Steven's Room.
Wowzers! And
where we did cover that episode of We Don't
Grandpa.
Talk About It. Fucking kill us.
Don't worry,
we wanted
bro.
To die.
None of this is canon.
We did do Uncle Grandpa, and we hated it.
We what, Uncle Grandpa?
Somebody had to. He's everyone in the world's uncle and grandpa, which is the main reason why I didn't watch that show. I'm like, somebody needs to not write that line. Somebody needs to make that one quote cease to exist. And the show has been redeemed like 5%.
So yeah.
Let's continue on. I'm done.
I'm also done. But hey, you know it's not done, Steven Universe, because we just got to cover this episode.
It's not even started, let alone done.
So the episode opens up with Jamie approaching the beach house and calling Steven's name. Steven races to him and they say hi to each other. Steven's like, you have the goods? And Jamie takes out a flyer that advertises his play.
The hardest part was getting the dolphin to pose.
Remember when okay, this is the Jamie plot line where we're continuing on from the last time we saw him with the love letters episode, where Garnet rejects him, but she's like, you know what you should do? You should start local theater, you know? You should do that thing. Guess what? He's doing it. He's getting involved in the local theater scene. It's just him.
And it's great. He's
But-
honestly, I will say one of the great things about this episode, besides it being Jamie centric, who's like my favorite Beach City side character, is that it shows that he's like really good at acting and set design and prop stuff. Like he's good at acting stuff. So I feel like the reason that he failed as an actor before was just that his acting version of a resume was just blank. So they were like, buddy, I don't know what the fuck you can do. Just because you can read these lines in this one moment alone doesn't mean you like can do it on stage. So we can't like we're not going to put our faith in you. And now he's getting the experience, you know, entry level job wanted. Needs 5 years prior experience.
Never underestimate a theater major.
Yeah, he's just here and he's living his life. So guess what? Steven decides to, you know what, show up to the auditions, and they're the only people there. It's just them and a big stage.
The only two people with taste.
Yeah. What's the play called?
The play is called Beach City or Bust, The Tale of William Dewey. And Jamie is like, yeah, it's our first production, has to go well. You know, the whole thing, it's funded by Mayor Dewey. So it's funded because Mayor Dewey is the one who wrote the play.
Yep.
He's a
by
man
him.
of many talents, question mark?
A man of many autisms.
Yeah.
What a mood. Yeah, so this is the supposedly historical account of the founding of Beach City by his ancestor, William Dewey. They're all named William Dewey. Like, we have William Dewey, we have Bill Dewey, we have Buck Dewey.
Yeah.
It's just variations.
It's also really funny that this is Mayor Dewey's great grandfather. So that's 6 generations ago, which does about line up with 200 years.
Woo,
There we go.
math.
And so, Mayor Dewey decides to sit in on the audition, which, or I should say rehearsal, which, you know what? Steven nailed the
Both is
audition.
good.
He gets to be the lead person because he's the only one who showed up, and our boy Jamie gets to be everybody else. So,
He can
good
do
job.
it. He's multi-talented. I mean, frankly, given what we see of the entirety of the script in this one rehearsal, it's 5 minutes long, and there's like only like a few other lines, so like it's fine.
Yeah.
But frankly, the script that they do later is a lot more strain on Jamie, but he still does it because he's a good actor.
Exactly. So we get, you know, the short version of the script of like, oh, yep, William Dewey and his crew and his first mate Buddy, who exists apparently. Oh no, there's a wild squall approaching them, and then he just magically becomes gigantic and lifts the ship up, and they go directly to Beach City, and that's it. Because he never struggles. He doesn't do shit. He's just amazing.
Yes, like as much as this like is very much like inflating like the Dewey family lineage, prominence, etc. Like to be fair, given what we find out later of like the actual events that did happen, like you can kind of see how in 200 years, giant woman carried ships to safety becomes founder of the town did it. Like that's an easy enough thing over 200 years to like pass off and become twisted over time. On purpose or not, that's the question. How much did the Dewey family purposely create this narrative that no, it wasn't those magic ladies over there. It was me this whole time, your beloved founder of the town, William Dewey. And then like his son and his son and his son kept being like, yeah, that's what
It is
happened,
playing
guys.
telephone. So
Yeah.
that's what all history is. But my brain was just like, so we have giant William Dewey, and then we have Paul Bunyan. What's up with these American historical figures being fucking gigantic?
It's probably a metaphor. It also might not be. I don't know.
They're compensating.
For what?
Are you suggesting that William Dewey needed to compensate? But he was so super good at everything.
Are we brave enough to say that Mayor Dewey has a small dick?
I mean,
Yes.
it's not obviously confirmed anywhere, but like, we all know.
Yeah. Immediately after reading it, our boy Jamie is just like, he's a good character, but we should see his struggles, you know? Like, we need to see how he achieves this and everything. And Meridu is just like, no, it's a perfect play. Nothing needs to be changed. Bye.
I mean, you
Jamie's
can't
like,
argue with him if he's left the room. That's just political strats 101. If you can't debate somebody if you don't show up for the debate.
yeah. And Jamie is really good at, reviewing media and like extrapolating on the things just like we do here. Like, God, this guy has no character. He's got no flaws.
It's almost like it's a meta commentary on Mary Sue's in media.
What? No way. Are you saying that William Dewey is a Gary Stew? What?
Yeah, definitively.
So Stephen goes back home, and tells Pearl what's been going on. So glad that we're finally seeing Pearl, since the whole incident with like Pearl and Garnet, which will eventually be wrapped up. But no one else is here today. It's just Pearl.
It's just Pearl feeling her feelings. Also, just like the very powerful line of Jamie saying, like, to be human is to be flawed, while Pearl, who is not human, is going through her biggest fuck up as far as we know in recent memory.
There we go. There we
It's
go.
almost like the gems have humanity in them as well, and it's
What?
crazy. I know.
Yeah, I'm just liking how after like this falling out, we've gotten like an episode for each of the gems, and like
They're all
seeing
coping differently.
how they're coping. And Pearl is just, at this point, she's just like, I need a distraction, please. I need anything. I've done all that I can do for this situation.
It does really kind of suck because like the gems don't really like have friends. They are with each other. Garnet doesn't like need friends because she is Ruby and Sapphire together. She always has companionship. She's fine. Amethyst does hang out with humans sometimes, but like she hasn't seen Vidalia in however many years, it seems. And Pearl has nobody. I think the only people she really interacts with for the last 5,000 years have been gems. And now they all don't want to talk to her. And Amethyst does a little bit, but like it's still, Amethyst is still trying to deal with her own feelings too.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
And, relying on Steven for all of your emotional development isn't healthy for anyone. But that's a problem for a spin-off show at some point.
At some point.
I mean, how bad would it really be for a developing, growing child to constantly be playing therapist for his much older adult friends / family?
And there's nothing wrong with that picture that you just painted for me. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, clearly nothing is wrong here.
That's called foreshadowing.
Stephen tells Pearl about the play and how like, oh, it's so historically inaccurate, like it or actually no, he starts by saying like it's about William Dewey and he's so boring and everything. She's like, how do you know William Dewey? Like what? Huh? And she reads it and she's like, this is historical inaccuracy. Like, what is happening?
She's like, what do you mean? He wasn't flawless and perfect. Also, I had this in my notes. I forgot to say it. Interesting how much at the start of the show the narrative around Rose Quartz is that she was perfect and flawless and had never done anything wrong in her entire life. And over the course of the show, we found out the opposite. And now it's like, oh look, it's almost like she has humanity in her too. Anyway, but the difference is there that Pearl was definitely perpetuating the Rose is flawless narrative, whereas now she's like because due to her lesbianism, she's just like Rose flawless, amazing, never did anything wrong in her life. William Dewey, of course he fucked up.
It's almost like William Dewey and Mayor Dewey are like alluding to this whole situation with Rose and Pearl.
Maybe.
Per se, perhaps. I do love though that like Steven's just like, oh, like analyzing William Dewey's characters, like he's so boring and everything, and just Pearl's just like, it's historically inaccurate.
Yep.
Because listen, I relate to this so much.
I know, Charlie.
You ever just here's the thing. My partner and I went to a show over the weekend called Humanitarian. What the fuck's this show called again? Clearly, it's a show that stuck with me if I remember what it's called.
Yeah, obviously.
Oh, everything in my notes I skipped over because I'm great at this. Just more proof that Jamie is the bestest boy ever. He lets Steven take the lead role instead of himself because, he could easily take the lead and put that to even further pad out his acting resume, but no. He's going to let Steven do it himself. He's great. Jamie's the best. I love him.
Just talking about that, about like, hey, pointing out the inaccuracies in something. My boyfriend and I went to go watch a show over the weekend called The Antiquities, which is a lovely little show about like, hey, this is the progression of technology throughout like 300 years of perceived humanity from like 1800 to 21 something. And it's like a tale of like, hey, technology is gonna fucking kill us. When we got out of the play, I talked to him. I'm like, well, what did you like? What didn't you like? And he's like, it's inaccurate. I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, that scene that takes place in 1910 with the little kid. The little kid has a purple bear. Do you have any idea how uncommon purple fabric in general was in the 1900s, let alone a purple fucking bear? And I'm like, dude, it's a play. Just chill. He's like, no,
Also-
it's inaccurate.
Also, that's one prop in the play, and I haven't seen this, so I don't know how relevant that specific bear is, but I feel like maybe they could have just grabbed a different bear.
Perhaps. Listen. You know what my brain hates for historical inaccuracy? This is the thing that always gets me, is whenever people are like, oh yeah, King Arthur and all of that shit, it was like 1,000 years ago. And I'm just like, excuse me, this was like 5th or 6th century. You are off by about 500 fucking years, guys.
I mean, to be fair,
And yes, it is pseudo history, but
to be fair, I think like the farther back in history you go, like there's a general blip in the middle of like ancient times. We have a vague idea of that. The last couple centuries, we have a vague idea of that. But like once you get to like to the 1600s, like anything between that and like 0, people are just like, it was all kind of the same because you don't study it as like intently throughout like school. So you're just like, yeah, there was the ancients, there was the Industrial Revolution, and some other shit in between. So like, I think just people just really don't know the difference because they don't study it. So they're like, yeah,
Kyla, don't help them. Don't help these idiots.
Everyone just like they didn't have indoor plumbing, and democracy was like barely a thing in some places. I don't fucking know, man. They all probably were dying of cholera. Like
the point is, King Arthur was Anglo-Saxon and or was Anglo and fought the Saxons, and people put him in the wrong time period. And I know this because 1066 is when the Norman conquest.
I am aware of 1066.
I was like, you took that class. You should know this.
I know that, but that doesn't mean everybody else does. Not everyone had Professor Trout.
I know about this. We had similar college professor.
It's like when I think about how Pablo Picasso died in 1979. Like, dude was watching Sesame Street before he died. Not actually, but
You never know, though.
I don't think he had good enough taste to watch Sesame Street.
Let's see. Was Pablo Picasso on Sesame Street?
God.
I have no idea. It just sounds funny to me.
Anyway, speaking of high art, we have Pearl takes a look at the script and says, I'm gonna rewrite this because it's historically inaccurate. And then she does, because she always keeps her word.
As she should. And guess what? Jamie loves it. Jamie's just like, this is amazing. Like, it's so real. And Steven's like, I wrote the jokes.
I can tell.
Now, do we think that's a dig at Steven, or is that Jesus Christ, I'm forgetting names.
Jamie?
The weed's hitting my brain. Jamie, or do we think that's Jamie being like, no, these are actually really funny, and I'm going to compliment Steven?
No, Jamie absolutely is on like the same wavelength of like comedy with Steven. They like riffed off each other whenever they do mail exchanges. Like they're on the same
buddies.
wavelength.
They're good.
I just said it sarcastically because I say everything sarcastically.
I know you said mail changes as in the exchanging of mail, like the postal service, but I'm like, they're two men talking to each other, a mail exchange.
Hey!
Don't laugh at that. No, that's terrible.
Sorry, it's funny to me.
Speaking of American history,
speaking of episodes that don't pass the Bechdel test.
Yeah, I know you're not wrong at all. The only like feminine character they talk to is Pearl.
I think she's the only female character who speaks.
Rip.
Yep. Yeah, they can't all be winners. Anyway, she's also not female, so technically speaking, none of these episodes pass.
True.
Except for the times Connie and her mom talk to each other, I guess, and like Sadie and
sometimes Connie and her mom are talking about Steven.
Yeah.
Oh.
Exactly.
Sometimes it doesn't count.
I can't believe this show is so anti-feminist, guys. Hot take.
Wow, what's up with this? It's wild.
We should cancel Steven Universe.
You know what I think? I think we should have had more episodes of Pearl writing plays like after this, because like this is her debut as like a stage playwright. Why don't we get more of this? Come on, Steven Universe.
She's just always so naturally dramatic. She doesn't really need to, harness it into a concentrated form.
Because
But
right now,
Jamie needs plays.
Pearl Big Sad.
Yeah.
Jamie needs plays to work off
What if
of.
Jamie
and
wrote his
Pearl
own
doesn't
fucking
need-
plays?
Maybe that's where his arc would have
Sure.
gone if we got to see more of him.
I'm just saying, Pearl doesn't need money.
I mean, she does for Steven.
Yeah, unfortunately, Steven requires food.
Steven does. Pearl does not. Just saying. Oh, what I'd
Yep.
give to be Pearl.
Anyway, Jamie super duper loves Pearl's work, just like we do.
Yeah, and then we fast forward to the opening night of the play. Half the boardwalk is here.
Oh, also the stage has like 4 giant Dewey heads. I mean, it's clearly like the Mayor Dewey head with like extra hair for like the top like stage part, and then it's like the posters for like the William Dewey. But it's like, wow, there's like 4 big Dewey heads. It's a different Dewey than usual, but they sure do just have these big heads just like on back order somewhere.
4
So
times
many.
the Dewey for 4 times the fun.
So 0 times
wait,
4 is
Is it 4 because the Mount Rushmore and like the 4 heads of historical figures, and I'm bullshitting.
No, 'cause it's like 1 big head and then like the like poster of like Dewey and the
Yeah.
squid, and then 2 more smaller heads. So it's just wherever they could fit them on the stage. I honestly, it's because it's like the 2 on like the bottom of the stage. It's kind of funnier that they didn't. It'd be funnier, I think, if they put like more Dewey heads just lining across the bottom of it.
They have
It's like
more Dewey
a
heads.
shrine
More-
of Dewey head.
More
Yes.
Dewey heads, guys. This is my critique of the episode. Mayor Dewey tries to sit next to Pearl, who's just like, no, goodbye.
Kill him. Kill him.
Well, no, she's like no, because he's like, hey, I wrote this play, which is like pick a line. She's shutting down, and also she's like, you fucking didn't write this, but I'm not. But she's not in the place to get into a fight right now. She's like, I'm just here for Steven. I'm going to back away.
What
Yep.
do we think about because hey, I'm all for the creative types getting their work out there any way they can. But what do we think about people who like write a play or whatever, they invite their friends, family, and community to go watch it, and then they like just sit up next to someone, they're like, I wrote that.
I don't know. It depends on your delivery and your,
Your intentions?
Yeah. Like we've seen Dewey and Pearl talk before, like they've shared like 5 lines before, so like they don't not have a rapport. Also, I imagine that like Dewey's like dad and his dad also probably, I like to imagine they all had a thing for Pearl. I know that was like a popular fandom thing for a while.
Oh,
So it's
no.
like imagining like little mini Dewey and his dad both like crushing up Pearl, and Pearl just like, I know for several reasons no, and it just
For several reasons, no.
hold on, really quick, the bit like right before like where Jamie and Steven are trying to hype themselves up to like, we're gonna do this, and Jamie's like really nervous, which makes Steven nervous. Jamie is doing shadow puppets, first of a dolphin and then like of a like nervous face, like like not quite the sadness mask from like the comedy tragedy thing, but like it's nervous and you can tell. And once again, Jamie is a man of many talents. Those shadow puppets are on point, also physically impossible, but they're on point.
Jamie is a wizard. What's up with this guy?
You're a
Get him a job.
He has a job.
He does. Well,
this
this
could
is
make
hobby.
this could make or break his hobby, but he does have a job.
I do love that line though. This could make or break his hobby. Is this where we get the line of like boardies and gentle boardies?
Yes, the 2 genders.
Yeah. Yes.
The 2 titular genders.
Exactly. The 2 genders. Thank you.
Every bathroom in Beach City either has a picture of a boardwalk or a picture of nothing. You have to figure. Anyway, moving on.
I was gonna say like board shorts and then board shorts with hearts or something. I don't know.
I don't know. How does one depict gentleness in a pictogram?
Oh wait, it's board shorts and a bow tie. Jamie is Buddy in this first scene, and he's just great. And Pearl's, "Hi, Steven!"
Pearl's so excited and completely breaking Steven out of character. I will also say it is interesting how the only other named character in this play in both versions is Buddy and then the gems, but like because as we know, Buddy has like the library that we see in that later episode that also has Jamie, but not really, which is you know, it's it's nice that the town's internal lore is consistent, and I'm sure like a lot of the townies are just like, oh yeah, Buddy, yeah, I've heard of Buddy, but well, yeah, like the library guy, that guy.
I was gonna say my thing about like the last episode is I was just like, oh, but like Love Letters leads into this episode with like the play that introduces Buddy, and that eventually introduces Buddy Budwick, which then introduces like the Palanquin. So like it's all like
It's almost like the episodes about the Beach City people who are always important.
yeah, it's very loose threads, but it's still something.
It's not that loose, honestly, to be fair.
It's loose from Love Letters, I'd say.
I mean,
at least.
yeah. I mean, they do call that back when we get later on into the play, but you know.
Yeah, so Steven, he's got his little ponytail, his little curly ponytail, and he's being, oh no, woe is me, I'm a failure, I'm William Dewey and I'm a failure.
Yeah, and Mayor Dewey's like,
Mayor
oh,
Dewey.
fuck?
Mayor Dewey's so nervous about that. He's like, wait, no. You don't put the words Dewey and failure in the same sentence together unless the word not is in between them. Anyway. He's fine. He's just having a panic about his purpose in life and how the town views him, which to be fair, as a politician, appearances are kind of everything.
Yeah.
Also, just noticing how there are diamonds in the background. Foreshadowing. Jamie's like, what light through yon stage left breaks? And
Which, very funny line.
It is the east and we are the crystal gems.
And we just have Jamie, showing off that this is community theater with that stellar budget, though.
I mean, he gets the mannerisms right and the hair. I mean, but the crystal gems, party hat, cardboard box, and mop.
Yes. Party hat, nose, cardboard box, hair, and just mop with a gem on it.
The three genders.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. Everything is perfect about it. We even see the movie star sunglasses again when he does Garnet.
Yep. And this is when he calls back to Love Letters when he says humans aren't very good swimmers, just like Garnet said she was a good one in Love Letters. Haha. Continuity.
Yep. So they're just like, wait, don't go into this way. Bad things are over here. Like, be careful. Bye.
You're gonna
we're
get your shit
ominous.
wrecked. You're gonna get your ship wrecked and your shit wrecked.
And then that subsequently happens. He gets his ship and his shit wrecked by a mysterious, tentacle. And Dewey, he's ready to surrender and die, I guess, before a giant mysterious figure appears and defeats the sea monster. And then this giant figure takes Dewey's ship and carries it safely to shore. This is Obsidian, is it not?
Yeah.
Potentially?
Obsidian or Alexandrite. It's one of the two.
I feel like it's meant to be Obsidian because it's all shadow and they're not emphasizing that much. Let me double check. How many arms are there? There's only 4 arms shown, which how much of that is just budgetary constraints?
I was gonna say, I was looking earlier at the wiki, and it's it is supposed to be Obsidian, but she's depicted with only 4 arms. Well, she's supposed to have 8 arms. It's one of the errors, and it's this could just be a stylistic choice.
Well, also, totally just making this up in the moment theory. Obsidian that we see later in the series has more sets of arms, but that's because Steven's in there. Where, who might not be quite as in sync with the others. There was a theory for a while that Obsidian might have been pink when it was Rose, and Obsidian is black when it's Steven because that's their hair color. So there's all kinds of fun ideas people have about what the fusions are like, and it's I had a thought.
But it's Obsidian, so why would it have pink hair?
Because people like giving big women pink hair. I don't in this fandom. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm just saying, like, based on the gem that it's based on, it.
I'm not
makes
saying
more
I
sense.
fully subscribe to this. I just know some people did. So,
But I'm saying
it's
those
not
people are definitively wrong. So
you're allowed to believe that. But there's probably some quarters of the fandom that's like, oh yeah, they probably had 4 arms together when it was all of them because they got along better with Rose or something, instead of it, just being budgetary constraints.
Budgetary constraints.
yeah. Also, you know who was the monster here? I'm waiting for you to say it, Robert. I'm waiting for you to say who the monster is that
Frankenstein.
wrecks the ship. Who is it?
Is it meant to be that character, or is it just
Do you
generic?
not see this? I
I
see
the
the
silhouette.
shadow, and
Yeah,
that looks like her.
it doesn't
don't
not
It
look
looks
remember
like
like
who
her.
that is.
Centipedal.
That's Centipedal?
Yeah, that's Centipedal.
Oh shit.
I mean, we do see later that there are multiple centipedals, in that other ship, so it wouldn't be impossible for there to be one that was just like chilling out in the ocean for a while until the gems stopped them in the moment. So, it's
Yeah.
almost like there's squadrons of all the same kind of gem. Anyway.
I mean, maybe Steven just went with Centipedal because, like, that's one he recognizes. But who knows?
I mean, maybe Jamie was just given the direction monster big and just rolled with it.
To be fair, it's Pearl who's giving the story, so maybe he's adapting it based off what Pearl said. Pearl is also part of Obsidian, so she would know what they fought.
True. This is also true. So
Probably.
maybe it was Centipedal. Maybe Steven went in a certain direction.
I just had a curse thought that for historical and artistic integrity, Pearl found that gem in the bubble room and unbubbled it so that Steven could take some pictures of it for artistic reference for Jamie and then bubble it again. That obviously didn't happen, but
I think Steven just remembered and did an art and was just like, Jamie, looks something like this. Can you do that? And he's like, I got you.
Me and my trusty cardboard. So the gem's like, hey, Dewey, hey, don't go into the shore. It's bad. And Dewey's like, nah, I'm gonna stay. Hey, despite being the face of failure, that's what makes me great. The Fusion's like, okay, later, dude. I
don't say I didn't warn you.
don't say I didn't warn you. I might interfere again later, but later. He wants to name the land in honor of his dead first mate, Buddy. But then it turns out Buddy's alive, so he's like, actually, never mind. I'm gonna call it Beach City.
Yay, Beach City! Yeah, the fact that Buddy just sacrifices himself. We assume he's dead, and then he just comes back at the end. Don't worry about it, guys.
It's fine.
None of this is canon.
He's fine. Everything's fine. But you know what? Everybody loves the play. Everybody loves it. We're doing great here, even though Steven did his bad Italian accent.
We finally get the chant, Mayor Dewey, Mayor Dewey.
And it's coming from the townies instead of Dewey's van himself. It's like, wow, look, his scheme to gain political favor from the populace worked.
Political favors.
This is actually just another point of why this episode is great, is that it's proving that Mayor Dewey is actually a political mastermind underneath it all, except he's not, obviously. His original plan would have bombed, and so would have his rankings in the polls. But that's a problem for later.
Yeah.
Dewey...
So Mayor Dewey's like, that was great, it's incredible, it feels good that hey, my ancestor was displayed as a true human with flaws. So then later on, Jamie is giving autographs to people, and Dewey runs up to Jamie and he's like, hey man, thanks for... By the way, the play ends with like a giant vote for mayor, or our Dewey for mayor banner, so hey, political propaganda. So to thank Jamie, he's like, I'm giving you a position, lead director of Beach City Community Theater. And as long as you're within the budget, you can make more plays. And Jamie's like, this is the best day of my life. Oh, wait, gotta regain composure. Gotta regain composure. Thank you, Mayor Dewey.
Yep, you can't fangirl too hard about this. And Pearl is just like, wow, I don't remember a campaign slogan at the end of that play, but it's art, as Steven says. We gotta do it for the audience. And that's why you always end on a joke.
The end.
Yeah. I do appreciate them not committing to the bit, and not having a joke.
Yeah. We
I
love the
think
bits around here.
I think the joke was that Steven said that. Because I laugh at it. I find it funny.
It's also kind of continuing from the in Cry for Help, where Steven's like, if only people could make up at the end of the day, just like in cartoons. And then because they don't make up, and they still haven't made up. It's fine. It's fine.
Everything is fine.
Yeah. I will say I do really, really like this episode. I just do wonder if it would have made better sense narratively for it to be in a different episode somewhere, except for the fact that it has like the whole talking about like people can be flawed and that's okay thing. Like, because like on the surface of it, this episode feels very much like, did it really belong in like the Pearl fucked up story arc? But like, yeah, the whole moral of the story is that it's okay to make mistakes. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be fine. People aren't gonna die if you make mistakes. Probably.
No, they're gonna die.
Probably.
Gonna die
I mean,
instantly.
Buddy survived.
Exactly. And the world hasn't exploded yet from them not catching Peridot, so like, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
Hey, Robert.
Hey, Charlie.
Do you think it's time to go to the Crystal Temple?
I think it's time to go to the Crystal Temple. I think it's time to go to the Crystal Temple for some Crystal Temple trivia.
Boop-a-doo. This episode is symbolized in the promo art for the third Stephen Bomb by the Theater Mass of Comedy and Tragedy.
The sea monster's jaws/beak resembled the centipedal mother and the big bird.
The big bird. I'm seeing that one. Yeah, it's the one from Giant Woman. Okay, that's fair. The episode's title is derived from the genre of historical fiction. Haha. Because
Hey.
Pearl made it historical fact.
At least the Wikia wasn't like, it's apparently derived from the genre.
Yeah, the way they do. Well, we're going to get into that with cultural references.
Is this like the shortest trivia section we've had for an episode?
For
Probably.
like the basic trivia, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to cultural references. In the play, Jamie keeps referring to Stephen's character as, "Oh, Captain, my Captain," which is a reference to Walt Whitman's poem of the same name, or the 1989 film Dead Poet Society, which features the famous poem.
William Dewey may be a reference to the famous explorer Christopher Columbus. William seems to come from a European country just like Columbus. They are both looked down upon by their peers. They even both make it to a land that would be colonized in the future with natives already being there. The crystal gems were there for thousands of years prior.
I think Steven Universe World also had Native Americans, but okay.
I was gonna say, is this trying to imply that no one lived?
The crystal gems are the Native Americans?
Oh, God.
I mean, who knows?
What?
Maybe. I mean, who knows? Maybe because like there's gem stuff all over the world. Maybe the gems like the what's the fucking thing about how humanity like started like in like Africa and like spread out and stuff, and there was like a land bridge between Asia and Americas. Maybe they went there and said, "No, don't come over here. There's monsters," and then people just listened. Maybe. I doubt it, but that'd be really funny if everyone before William Dewey had the gems say, "Please don't stay here," and they said, "Sounds legit. Bye." And then William Dewey's like, "No, you can't tell me what to do because this sign can't tell me what to do because I can't read," or whatever that means.
Yeah. The crystal gems also aren't native because they technically colonized it, so
What?
there you go.
All the
So
protagonists of the
this
show are
wiki's
colonized?
inaccurate.
Wow. Jamie says, "It is the East and we are the crystal gems," when he's introducing the gems. This is a reference to William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet in the line, "But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the East and Juliet is the sun." Because they're made of light. Ha 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 ha.
Ha 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 ha. Joe Johnston confirmed that the fusion that saved William Dewey is the original obsidian fusion of Rose, Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl, after her counterpart with Stephen appeared in Change Your Mind. In the book, Keep Beat Shitty Weird, You Can't Hide the Truth, Ronaldo Fryman mentions that the fusion that saved William Dewey bears some resemblance to the Crystal Temple. Shitty Weird. Abby has appeared. On one of the early concept arts of the Crystal Temple from Steven Universe Art and Origins, the Crystal Temple was conceptually named the Obsidian Temple.
Fair. It is dark.
And now for Charlie's favorite section.
Continuity.
Garnet previously advised Jamie to start with local theater at the end of love letters.
Jamie is wearing a party hat over his nose while acting as Pearl. This is similar to when Amethyst was mocking Pearl's feature exactly the same way during so many birthdays.
It is the way to get the pointy nose. For Jamie's Garnet costume, he wears his movie star sunglasses from Love Letters.
I'm so sorry, but the Pearl's pointy nose thing is making me think of Azula's. Like, it's so sharp. It's
so sharp.
You could puncture what's Azula's fucking line about how sharp that guy's outfit is? It's that, but for Pearl's nose. Anyway.
Wasn't it like it's so sharp that we could like hone the blade to like defeat our enemies or something like that?
We could like breach the hull of like a Fire Navy battleship because it's so sharp.
Like leaving thousands to die at sea because it's so
that
sharp.
guy still wanted to kiss her at the end. Like,
I mean, horny teenage boy's gonna horny teenage boy. I don't know what to tell you.
She should have just said, "I'm a princess." So
she wanted to see what she could do without her title being the thing that makes people do what she wants. You know.
True.
It's the ultimate test to see how manipulative she can really be, and she failed, and that's why she freaked out. I'm kidding. But kind of not.
Jamie references Love Letters when he says that humans can't swim well, as he was acting as Garnet.
Jamie's love of theater is shown again, first mentioned in Love Letters. Feel like they could have done that one first. This wiki is super well organized and always on point, just like Pearl's
Better
nose.
than the Kim Possible one.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry.
Mariduri continues to keep a liking for Pearl, first seen in political power.
Kill him. Shoot him. Assassinate him. This episode could possibly be a nod to so many birthdays. The crystal gems are seen rescuing people in a boat. One of those people could be William Dewey. I mean, I guess?
Maybe? Stephen dubs a gem giant woman for the 4th time in the series. I'm glad they're keeping count of that.
I'm so glad. Pearl admits that she's not perfect. While informed, Amethyst believed Pearl thought she was perfect.
And finally, Pearl reconfirms the fact that the crystal gems were here at Beach City long before humans, as first said in Rising Tides, Crashing Skies.
Whoa! Wow. What's up with that? Well,
also, sorry,
my friends.
Pearl admitting she's not perfect. Imagine if another gem said that they weren't perfect. Imagine how terrible that would be. Anyway.
She's not perfect, she's perfect.
Boo.
Yay.
Well, who are we giving our Pearl points to in this episode? Listen, Jamie's costumes.
Should we each give one to each individual costume?
I feel like we'd all give it to the mop, is the problem.
No, I'm giving my Pearl point to the Pearl costume that Jamie did.
Yeah, I was gonna do the Pearl costume too. Because he got the hair just right, you know? He coiffed his hair just so to have it go back more.
His hair is always very coiffed, though. He has very good hair.
But his coiffs forward, Pearl's coiffs back in a point to counteract the point of her nose. She's very sharp.
She's so sharp. Well, if you're both gonna say the Pearl costume, then how about this? I'll also give it to the Pearl costume. And it's just, that's the best one. That's the best thing in the episode.
Pearl gets 3 A's. Only as a Pearl should.
Yep. I mean, I was tempted to give it to just Jamie, but yeah, no, his costume and acting skills really prevailed here.
Good job, Jamie. Good job.
He's great.
And who are we giving our Pearl point to?
We just did that, Robert.
Oh, wait, shoot. I'm sorry. What's the question? Leave me alone.
What is the question for the episode?
Have you ever done acting or community theater, something like that?
Yeah, have you ever been in a play?
Have you ever made theatrical political propaganda?
I shot my shot at a local production, local, a little far from me, but also local production of the Percy Jackson musical. And the only reason I didn't get Percy is because they wanted me to sing in a range that I can't hit well.
Yeah, singing hard. That's why I didn't get roles in musicals. I auditioned like 1 year and I did it. I got one speaking line. That's great. But I just, staying after school so late every day I was like, this maybe isn't for me.
I always struggle on like one line from Good Kid, I'm not gonna lie. So I understand your pain, Robert. But it's more that I can't go quite as low.
I'm an alto, so it's really annoying when girl songs are all like, you need to sing up here! And I'm like, I don't sound good up there. Please, it's
Yeah.
scary up there. I'm scared of heights.
Can't do it. Can't do
I'm
it. I
kidding.
sound like I'm squeaking.
Yeah.
So, no thank you.
Head voice, more like dead voice. Anyway.
I was a theater kid, but like not in my school. Instead, I did theater at like some summer programs. And then I also did a special like after school, not part of my school, like academy of some sorts. That it was like a local like place that would do like theater productions and stuff for various ages, and I did that for a few years until I
Cool.
had a really bad theater teacher, and I was like, I think I'm done here, guys. I think I did this for 5, maybe 6 years, and I'm good. I'm very good. This person does not like me, and I do not want to keep being here now.
I'm sorry, people are dumb.
Rip.
It's, you know what? I have this thing. So whenever I was in a play, I would like learn my lines like very quickly towards the end. And then when I knew my lines, I knew the entire play. We filmed several of these plays, and you can see me in the background mouthing everybody else's lines as it's all happening. I
Oh,
was
I'm
that
sure they love
person.
that.
that's like the theater kid equivalent of when like you're in English class doing popcorn reading and you practice your part over and over again.
Yeah, that's a mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
want to read
so
it right.
Yeah.
I'm
That was
just a
another
nerd.
part of why I didn't like keep doing like I tried it in middle school and I didn't do it in high school, partially because the main theater person for middle school, every single rehearsal, she would yell at us for being the worst production she'd ever worked on. And it's like, girl, you are running an 8th grade production. 8th graders are the worst. Middle school is the worst version of yourself, and there's 50 of us. We outnumber you. Like, I
That
don't know
sounds
what
like
you
a
thought was gonna
threat,
happen.
Jesus.
Fuck that. No, thank
Yeah.
you.
Like every single day, she's like, "You all," she's just like, "You were all so not." Like she was upset. Like I don't even know what she was fucking upset about. If it was like the quality of our performance or how much effort we were putting in, but it's like, girl, chill out. We're doing fine.
Chillax, bro.
Chillax, mate.
She's like, "Why don't we
Chillax,
have
mate.
this yet?" It's like, I don't know, because we do like a 30-minute rehearsal for like the ensemble stuff, and then you kick us all out to do the other stuff. Like, I don't know what to do. It's fine. I'm fine.
I hope you're fine. I really do.
I
hope
am
you're
actually
okay.
fine. I didn't like super care what her opinion was, but it was just kind of like, you're kind of wasting the only rehearsal time you have just telling us we all suck. So like, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe we'd suck less if we had less time being told we sucked and more time doing the rehearsal.
Point
All I'm
out.
imagining is that your 8th grade teacher was the like music teacher that is played by, oh, I can't remember actors' names. He plays J. Jonah Jameson and Omni Man. Fucking what's his face?
Oh,
I don't know any of these words.
Tenzin from Legend of Korra.
Yeah, that guy. Fucking
I know that word.
who plays him? God, I forgot names.
I forgot his fucking name. I just call him J. Jonah Jameson. I'm just like, it's that guy. He's also in Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh yeah, he is. Fucking.
He's
I
Catherine.
almost said Willem Dafoe, and I'm like, that's not the answer.
No, it's not.
J.K. Simmons.
There we go.
There we go.
Guys, we have technology.
Got
You can
it.
Google these things.
No, I can't. I have to suffer until I figure it out.
No, making yourself suffer when you have means not to is not an okay thing to do. Talk with your therapist if you think otherwise.
Hmm. No, never.
Rip.
Absolutely not. Well, Kyla, I know you don't really want to share where you are on the internet. You're just our pal.
Yeah.
She can be found here on this podcast.
Until I can't. Disappears into the void.
Whoa! Oh
You've
no!
activated my
Disconnects from the call right now.
Kyla, this is where you tell everybody, don't turn off the podcast or else I will die. Like,
that was a fun bit when Zach did it.
yeah.
I can't steal other people's bits.
But this is the bits.
The bits.
Yeah, and that's his bits. I have my own bits, and that's sending weird emails when I think of them.
This is true. This is very true. Well, y'all, if every podcast were perfect,
we wouldn't have the bits.
Bye.
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 You can follow this podcast socials at thebitssupod on Instagram and Tumblr. You can send a message to our Diamond Line through thebitssupod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, join us at our Patreon, patreon.com/thebitsu. By becoming a patron, you can join the Deus Ex Media Discord server, where you'll be able to chat with us and other listeners about Steven Universe, or whatever else. Our $5 patron tier also gets you access to Steven's Room, our monthly bonus show. There, we'll be talking about a wide variety of topics which usually have something to do with Steven in some way. No promises.
You can check out our merch store, The Bits SU, on Redbubble to find custom designs made by yours truly. Or if you cannot or do not want to support us financially, we'd really appreciate a rating, a review, or even letting your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. It really helps. Our music was written and produced by Jason Hilton. You can find him at Negative Selections on Instagram. You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws.
You can find me, Robert, at the Damn Meme Page on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky. If you want to have more from me, check out my YouTube channel, also called The Damn Meme Page, where I make videos mainly about Percy Jackson, but also sometimes other fun stuff. The Bits is proud to be a part of Deus Ex Media, which features great podcasts like Of the Eldest Gods, a chapter-by-chapter Rick Riordan pod with mythological context and no spoilers.
Well, we finished the Percy Jackson series. Wait, what are we still doing here? And what is that music?
Oh, you thought it was over, bro? We're just getting started.
We are? Charlie, what's next for Of the Eldest Gods?
Well, Ray, it's time for us to go into our Egyptian era. We're gonna start the Kane Chronicles.
Oh, hell yeah! Wait, why do you have a glowing boomerang?
Don't worry about it. It's just my Egyptian magic wand.
Man, the Egyptian stuff isn't gonna be like the Greek stuff, is it?
Not at all. But we'll still cover mythology as it comes up in each chapter.
Are we gonna have cabins this season?
Nah, the Canes don't have cabins. So instead, I'm Charlie, following the path of Bast.
And I'm Ray, following the path of Geb.
Join us as we read The Red Pyramid, the first book of the Kane Chronicles, chapter by chapter.
Welcome back to Of the Eldest Gods.
Deus Ex Media.